We're building boulder shoulders with the bells of shoulder boulder. We're building shoulder boulders with the bells of steel shoulder boulder. Nope. We are building boulder shoulders with the... That was right. We're building boulder shoulders with the bells of steel shoulder boulder. Got it. This is the bells of steel lateral raise attachment. It's called the shoulder boulder. I'm not calling it that for the rest of this video. It's just a lateral raise attachment. It doubles as a chest fly attachment, and I'm gonna review it for you. Now here's the deal, 100% honesty time. Did I work out my shoulders this morning in hopes that they might look good for this video? Absolutely not. I would never do that. Also, Bells of Steel sent me this. I didn't pay for this, but I am going to review it 100% honestly. My hope is that I can give you all the information you need to decide for yourself if this is worth it or not. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other that it is or isn't worth it, because if there's one thing I've learned in making home gym content, it's that every single person is different and has different needs and setups and wants. So what's worth it to you might not be worth it to somebody else, but I will lay out all the facts for you, the pros and the cons. I've been playing around with it for the past week, trying to figure out all the things it does well and not so well, so let me show you. This attachment is made for 3x3 racks with 5/8 inch holes. Because it's got all the wiggly pieces, it's a little bit awkward to move it around and store it, but it's about 36 pounds, not horrible to move it. And if you have to adjust it, it's not hard to just take it out and put it into a different slot. For the technical nerds out there, 14 gauge steel, powder coated. It's nice. It looks like the Bells of Steel stuff. These arms can come all the way around, but there are stoppers on the backside, so it can only move in one direction. If you adjust it and try to pull it towards you, there's a stopper there, so it's gonna stop you. And the main thing that I don't love with this is the way it attaches to the rack. Instead of just having a peg with some kind of pin at the end, they went with a really deep threaded bolt. I find that I have to be really, really careful to try to slide it in without scraping the sides because it just strips the paint right off. It's got this heavy duty screw for the end, so the plus side here is that once it's tightened, this thing does not move at all. So once it's in, it's not gonna screw up your rack, but because it's just such a deep thread, it starts really stripping that paint. So if you're someone that cares about that, gotta be careful. This one hovers around $300, and you can find cheaper units like this on Amazon, like Mikolo or Mikolo. I've never actually said the name out loud. So Mikolo, whatever it is, it's one of those budget brands on Amazon. They have one that's about half the price. Can't speak to the quality. Bells of Steel, you pretty much know what you're gonna get. It's affordable and decent quality, not the highest quality, not the lowest of the low. It's in that sweet spot, and for my kind of a home gym, I don't buy premium stuff. So this one is right in my lane. Now, the one thing I'll say up front with Bells of Steel stuff in general, shipping is just not kind to them. When you buy from a smaller company, which I don't consider Bells of Steel to be, I'm talking about like the VTS that I have from Bulletproof or the Vendetta adapters for my lever arms. When you open up the box, the first thing you notice is how thoughtfully packaged everything is because they want nothing to happen to it. And I understand that drives up costs, but I kind of wish Bells of Steel would package their stuff a little bit more thoughtfully, because every time I get something shipped to me from them, there's so many little dinks and dunks all over it. There's scratches, there's little dents, nothing that functionally affects the piece that I have, but aesthetically, kind of a bummer. And I know a lot of people out there care about that kind of stuff. I can look past it, but obviously you don't love it. I don't know if it's my UPS driver or maybe it's when it goes through customs that they're just tossing these boxes around, but probably more important than shipping is how this actually works and how it feels. Let's talk about it. This is one of those things that you're gonna play around with the different heights. There are a lot of different ways you can go about it. And the fact that these arms bend is really nice because there's really no right way to do a lateral raise. Some people like to do lateral raises like this. Some people like to have their arms straighter. Some people like to converge a little bit, start closer and then extend out. There's truly no right way to do it. It's all dependent on a lot of different factors. So the adjustability of this is nice that you can get the exact positioning that you want. I've got these 100-pound plates. You can't tell because they only look like 10 pounds, but you should just trust me that these are 100 pounds because I'm really strong. In seriousness, the weight capacity of that says it's 165. Luckily with lateral raises, you can't go very heavy, so 165 is gonna be plenty of weight. I mean, I have 200 pounds on this, so it might be a problem, but we're gonna try it out. There we go. And now we get to build our boulder shoulders. I'm not gonna drag this out and reveal at the end of the video how I feel about this. I love this. I love lateral raises. It's one of those things that there's really like the lowest barrier to entry is a lateral raise. You can do dumbbells, you can do cables, you can hold a plate in your hand and do a lateral raise. You don't need this. You certainly don't need this. But if you've ever tried a machine like this in the gym, you know how good it feels. Having this in my gym, I really like it. Lateral raises, obviously the big thing that this does. Front raises though, also awesome because you can come out to either side. And now I think I want it to be a little bit higher. So if you want to see in real time the adjustment, I'm going to keep the plates on, those 100-pound plates. It does make it a little bit harder to move this around when there's plates on it because it gets really, I don't know what the word is, unevenly distributed, but there you go, in real time. You want the pivot point to be a little bit higher for a front raise. Now, obviously I'm on the inside of my rack here, kind of a tight space. I wanted to originally mount this on the outside of my rack, but this is how much space you need. So you have to go the width of your rack. I mounted this on the inside for the ease of demonstration. For most people, the hope would be that you can mount this on a post outside of your rack, either on the front, or if you're fortunate enough to have a 6-post rack, that would be a beautiful thing. But instead of having it inside my rack, what I've actually started doing is mounting this right to my lever arms. Sounds crazy maybe, but it's not crazy. Now my lever arms are 3x3 and they are fixed to my rack because of these trolleys. So if I want to use my boulder shoulder on the front post, I was putting my lever arms locked in a position up here and exercising below it. And it felt very Final Destination to me. Why can't you just put the lever arms on the ground? Because I didn't want to keep stepping over it, that's why. But what's really cool about having it on the lever arm is that you can then adjust the positioning without having to actually take this out. We got our bench set up. Let's see how this positioning feels. First try. Honestly, not bad. And just like lateral raises, you can use dumbbells, you can use cables. Flies are one of the easiest things to do without equipment. But if you've ever done the machine, you know what you're missing. And now with some weight on it, so you could actually see it really being used. You know, this is one of those things that you film and then you just hope that when you upload the footage, it's making you look good. Because I have no idea. And if this thing doesn't look sturdy, it's because I'm obviously on a lever arm. Once this thing is screwed on, it has no wobble to it whatsoever. So if you're noticing any movement, it's just my lever arm moving around a little bit. But I feel like even with that, this is still plenty sturdy. I've tried adjusting my bench for incline flies. It ends up being a little bit too high. I haven't found a comfortable position, so I don't do incline flies with this, but the regular flies with this, awesome. With Bells of Steel in particular, they sell a seal row pad that I actually have one, but I have it for my cable towers, which is completely different measurements. If you have that pad, it makes it a lot easier to do things like I was talking about, like incline fly or these reverse flies. So going like this, I don't want to crush my mic. There you go, there's reverse flies. Now with this being on lever arms, you can MacGyver some pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna be playing around with this a ton, so we'll see where it takes me, but this is a setup I really like. In general, I love being able to hit exercises at various angles. And I really like this variation because it puts the handles behind you. So it's very similar to when you do lateral raises with the cables and you come behind your back, you feel it differently. Oh, lovely, just lovely. So having this on a lever arm and being able to adjust it like that, pretty cool. If you buy this and you want to do more than just lateral raises and flies, you can get very creative. I've been playing around with a bunch of different stuff. A lot of it doesn't feel great, but one that actually feels really good is bicep curls, because the curvature of this is perfect for the range of motion. Once you adjust it where you need it, you bring the handle out to 90 degrees. You got a damn good bicep curl. Using a bench or some kind of seat attachment, I'm sure you could set up some kind of preacher as well. But with any equipment you buy, finding additional uses for it just increases the value, makes it easier to justify the price. And I figured I would get asked about cables. So I'll show you how you can attach cables to this. A lot of people have some kind of cable solution at this point, whether it be part of their rack, they have an all-in-one, or they have the Voltra with the smart weights. Whatever it is, a lot of people seem to use cables and attach it to various things. So with these, because it's just weight horns, sorry for being weird, the way I would do it is just take the handles and throw them over the weight horns here. There you go, and then just secure it on here. I definitely need to adjust this. This is not the height that I want. I'm just gonna kind of bend down so you can see here. But if you want some kind of cable option, you can do that. But being perfectly honest, lateral raises require such little weight. You're gonna go to 10, maybe 15 pounds. I think the weights themselves feel better than using the cables. Personally, it feels smoother using a weight plate, but to each their own. If you wanna use cables, it is an option. So is this lateral raise attachment worth it? I can't tell you that, but here's what I can say. I didn't pay for this, they sent it to me, so it wouldn't be fair for me to say, yes, absolutely, you have to buy this, because I don't know that I would have bought it. I do have the benefit of hindsight now. Having been playing around with this for the past week, I can say with confidence that this is gonna be a staple for my shoulder and chest training. I think, honestly, I like the chest flies more than the lateral raises. Many people out there prefer to use dumbbells or cables for those exercises. If you're one of those people, do not buy this. That would be so silly, because it doesn't do much else. It's for lateral raises and chest flies predominantly. If you don't feel like you're missing anything in that department, this would be a waste of money. But if you know that you're gonna use it for those use cases, or you're someone that doesn't have dumbbells or cables and only has a rack, an awesome solution. It feels really smooth, just like the machines that you're used to from the gym. If you have any questions, drop me a comment, let me know. I hope everything I talked about is helpful. You know, I wanna remain neutral. I received this for free, but I don't want that to sway my feelings towards it. I genuinely really like this and I'm gonna use it all the time. But if you have clarifying questions, or want to ask me something really honest that I didn't touch on, I'll be completely honest with you. Drop a comment, we'll have a dialogue, let me know. And the end? I don't know. I've been doing this for years and I still don't know how to end videos. The walk-off seems to work fine. So I'm just gonna talk through the walk-off, and I will see you guys in the next video.